A warm welcome to another Top Employers podcast where we explore ideas and perspectives to inspire a better world of work. I'm Billy, your host for today, and joining us we have Shishir Tyagi from global top employer HCLTech. Thank you, Shishir, for being here today.
Thank you, Billy.
Good to be here. We'll get back to you now. Now, every manager worries at some point that their best employees are eyeing the door. We often ask ourselves, what can I do to convince my team members to stay? How do I assess whether or not they're engaged? What conversations can I have to head off any thoughts of leaving the organization? And in this podcast, we hope to uncover the latest in employee retention strategies and best practices to inspire the many HR professionals around the world. Shishir, would you like to share a little bit about yourself and why you're so passionate about this very, very important HR topic?
Sure, Billy. So, number one, good morning, and thank you for having me here. It's always a pleasure to get connected to the industry leaders and the industry HR practitioners. Because, see, in today's world, what is happening is we all as HR people across the companies, across the industries, we are grappling with similar kind of problems. So I think it is always good to interact, good to know, and if at all there are any kind of a ready-to-fit solutions which are already there in the market, why not to probably replicate them into our company as well. So to introduce myself, I manage the HR operations for Southeast Asia, North Asia, and the Middle East region for HCLTech. I have been a part of HCLTech for almost about close to 2 decades now. When I joined HCL, we were hardly a team size of about some 25,000 odd people. And today we stand at close to about 221,000 people across 59 countries, 160 nationalities, and clocking a revenue of about $13.3 billion. So I have been a part of this particular journey right from when it was at its very nascent stages to where we are now. So I have seen the entire transformation. I have seen the growth of the company, and definitely, yes, I have learned a lot along the way. As far as the topic of the day is concerned, Billy, I'm sure this is one of the most bothering topics when it comes to the HR people. Because what happens is today, people or employees in the organization, they are more worried and they're more looking at as to what is on the other side of the hill. Because they always feel that, probably the others are probably doing better as compared to what we are. So I think it is important for people like us in the HR fraternity, as leaders, I think it is important for us to let our employees know that probably, and give them a confidence that you don't need to worry about the things that you want. We are there to take care of it. But again, so that level of a confidence building these days is very important. So yeah, I'm sure we're going to discuss a lot of things around people attrition today.
Cool, super. And it must be really cool from your perspective to be on that incredible growth journey with HCLTech from 20 years ago to what it looks like today, right?
Correct. So in fact, I definitely have got what I wanted in terms of, so see, if I have to probably take a step back and if you understand that what is that a person wants from an organization. So I think there are a couple of things. I would rather break them into 4 parts. Number one is my career growth. So if at all I am getting in terms of my career elevation, if at all I'm getting whatever I need from a company in terms of taking care of my career, I think that's more important. Number 2, definitely there has to be a regular upskilling. So I need to have opportunities wherein I can keep on learning, I can keep on enhancing my skills. So that is number 2. Number 3 is the change of role. So I don't really want monotony in my role. So I definitely am looking for some opportunity wherein I can definitely keep on moving out, keep on changing my roles, and that is something which is really going to keep me excited. And number 4, for all of us, I think this is what COVID has really taught us, which is maintaining a healthy work-life balance.
Yeah.
So I think given these 4 aspects, and that is what I feel that the company has given me. So these are all on the softer aspects. But again, the hard fact of the organization where people really decide to stay back is on the culture side of it. So in HCLTech, earlier there was a philosophy called employee first, customer second. Today we follow a tagline called supercharging progress. So I think the overall culture of the organization definitely has kept me going. And probably that is one of the secrets why I have been able to spend 2 decades with the company.
Interesting. I mean, I think you and I share something quite similar in that I've been with the Top Employers Institute for I think just over 15 years now. So
wow.
I think we are quite a unique breed if we compare ourselves to other professionals in the marketplace today. But I think a lot of the reasons why you've been with HCLTech is very much the same reasons why I've been with the Top Employers Institute. And I think one of the other main reasons that has kept me so attached to this organization, I love the program, I love the impact that it has on so many organizations around the world. But I also love the purpose and what we stand for as a business, which is to create a better world of work. And I'm pretty sure that HCL's purpose has also kept you attached to the organization.
Absolutely. So I think that sense of belongingness definitely has kept me going.
Yeah, that connection. Cool. So as we both know, there's been many challenges in the workplace, from quiet quitting, the Great Resignation, the remote working aspect. There's economic uncertainty, generational differences in the workforce. So there's lots to keep HR leaders up at night. And in your experience, what are some of the biggest concerns that are keeping your leaders up at night when it comes to retaining their top talent?
All right. So I think all the things that you mentioned definitely hold good in today's world. I think one of the things that people or the managers, before they do a deep dive or before they start worrying as to why are my people looking at the door, I think it is more important for them to introspect and find out what is exactly that they have done for the employees or for the people in their teams. I think, in today's world, most of the companies consider or they have people as their only or the biggest talent. At least in the world of IT, that holds good.
Yeah.
So all that we need to ensure is that we have a high engaged workforce, a highly motivated workforce. And I think if at all the workforce is engaged, if the workforce is motivated, they would definitely not look at leaving a manager. And it is rightly said, people leave managers, people don't leave companies. So I think it is very important for managers, before they start to worry why are the people looking out. I think it is time for them to introspect and see as to what really have they contributed towards the growth of the employees or the workforce.
Agreed. And I always find it interesting, right? Because as HR professionals, it's our responsibility to create these practices. But at the end of the day, it's the responsibility of our line managers and our leaders to ensure that those practices are effectively implemented so that the employees are actually experiencing them in terms of how they should. So I fully agree. People do leave because of leaders and not because of the organization. So
that is true.
I think you've hit the nail on the head there.
Yep.
Now, in a recent report that I read by a company called Money Control, it was noted that many global IT companies have reduced their employee numbers. However, HCLTech was one of the few employers, if not the only employer amongst all the big IT firms to have added employees. Now, that's really interesting. And why has HCLTech been able to grow its workforce while others are reducing theirs?
All right. Interesting observation. So, in fact, what we believe in HCLTech is we believe in people. So people for us are definitely not resources. We don't really count them as a resource, a Java resource or a C++ resource, definitely not. And number two, we also believe in the fact that by letting go or reducing your headcount, do you really increase your profitability? The answer is no. We don't really want to improve our margins. We don't want to improve our profitability just by letting go a few 100 or 50 of people, and so that our balance sheet looks better. So definitely that is not the model on which we work. Our philosophy is very simple. Whenever we get an opportunity of this kind, whenever there is a slowdown in the market, we go ahead and hire best of the breed from the market. What that really helps us is in number two, definitely it helps us create our brand value in the market. Number two, we put those people whom we hire from the market who are really good in terms of their skills and technology in their experience. I think what we do is we put those people into specific training programs. We always try and work for skills for the future. There is a special program that we run in HCLTech, which is called Skill at Scale. So wherein we go ahead, we do the analysis in the market with the help of our customers, with the help of our delivery teams, and we try and analyze as to what are those skills, what are those technologies which probably might be used by the customers either 6 months or 12 months down the line. So we create that particular workforce well in advance. And whenever there is a need at the last moment, when the industry is not able to cater to those requirements, we are there ahead of the industry. So I think the bottom line is we do not really believe in the fact that we let go people and that helps us improve our margin. That would be monetary substantial in terms of the timelines, but I think by and large that's definitely not our philosophy.
Cool. I mean, we truly are living up to being an employee-centric organization. And I guess that also does wonders for your employees, right, in terms of their engagement. When they look around what's happening in the IT sector, they're obviously seeing, other organizations laying off employees. But the fact that HCLTech has this philosophy to look after their people during uncertain times, I mean, that must do wonders for their engagement, productivity, motivation, etc.
Absolutely, yes. And that definitely has given us good results. If you look at today's HCL's average tenure, I think it is by far the best across the industry. Okay. Because I would not name my competition, but yeah, I think across the industry, the length or the average stay of an employee is the highest.
So there are many other Shishirs that exist within your organization that have been there for 20 plus years.
Yes, you'll find many of them.
Cool. There was a recent report that was published by EY towards the back end of 2023, which showed some alarming numbers for any company to be concerned about. And some of the stats said that 45% of employees in Singapore are likely to quit their jobs, while 39% of employees for the remainder of Southeast Asia. Now, these EY findings suggest there's a serious disconnect between employers and what employees value. So what strategies can HR leaders implement to bridge the gap and ensure they're offering what their workforce truly appreciates and actually wants from their employer?
Sure. So I think, Billy, as I said in the previous response, I think this again leads to an opportunity for us.
Yeah.
While it might be the situation overall might be scary for the competition, but I think we always take this as an opportunity for us. So there are a lot of these HR interventions that we have created. There are a lot of these employee-centric programs that we have created over the past couple of years, which have now started to give us results. And before I get into those details of those specific programs, I would just like to highlight or share one data point, which is as a part of our last financial year report, HCLTech's attrition has been by far the lowest amongst our industry peers. So we clocked at about 12.4%, whereas the industry was hovering at about 17+%. Okay. So that in itself shows that whatever we have done in the last 12 to 18 months definitely has now started to show results. There are employees who have now started to feel that yes, the interventions are definitely there to take care of their careers in the organization, and that is probably giving us better results. Now, talking about a few of the interventions that we have taken. So of late, I think we have all realized that now is the era of changing technology. So there is a lot of focus which is there on training and development. Now, in today's market, if you see that if you really want to ask people to go ahead and take a training of their own, the answer is no. There are very few people who would voluntarily go ahead because people are busy and happy in their 9-to-5 jobs. But again, looking at the competitive environment that we have around, it becomes very important for companies to motivate their employees to go ahead and take trainings. So there is a lot of focus. There are a lot of interventions that we have done around training for a few levels where we found that the effectiveness was not there. We actually made it as a part of their KPI, which was impacting their bonuses.
So was that across the organization?
That was across the organization, but more specifically to a certain band or a group of people where we found that over a period of time, we realized that the effectiveness of that particular training push was not coming on its own. So hence we had to create something which is more as a kind of a motivation for them, because that is somewhere linked to their bonus payouts. So somewhere it is voluntary, somewhere people definitely come forward, but there are many situations wherein people do not want to come forward on their own. But we know that as an employer, as a good company in the market, we need to ensure that our employees definitely are upskilled all the time. So by hook and crook, we have to do that. And it is not only for companies' growth, it is for the betterment of the employees. So training and development definitely was one of the areas where we definitely focused quite a bit. Then we realized that there is people are not very clear when it comes to looking at where their career is going. So we created platforms wherein employees could come together, discuss amongst themselves. There is one platform that we created which is called Mentor Me, because many a times what happens is you and I, in our careers, we come and stand at a crossroad wherein we don't know as to which is the right road to be taken for our career. We created a platform wherein the employees could come forward either as a group or as an individual, as a mentor. You can probably choose your mentor in the organization. Probably there are mentors also who come forward saying that, okay, I think I am good in this. I can probably give you a support. So these kind of platforms, they definitely have helped us quite a bit. And this is something which is, I would definitely like to call it as one of the HR or HCLTech's best practices.
Nice.
So then again, rewards and recognition. So I think every company realizes the importance of rewards and recognition. But again, the way we do it is way different from what the industry does. See, when it comes to as an employee, you keep on getting rewards probably on a regular basis if you're a star performer. But getting an award in front of your family, which is your parents, your kids, your spouses, I think that is something which really enhances your motivation level and your belongingness to the company. So these kind of programs then on a work-life balance. So work-life balance, we have created a lot of these policies and framework which help the employees to decide and work upon their own convenience. Obviously, there are certain approvals required for it. I don't want to say that it is a blanket for everyone, but yeah, there is flexibility which is given to the employees. You want to come to the office probably for a couple of days in a week and work from home for a couple of days in a week. I think that is all possible. One of the recent benefits or the policies that we've launched is for new mothers.
Okay.
So we have come up with a guideline saying that if the new mother wants to work from home for a period of 18 months, she has that flexibility. So that is something which is a big encouragement, and that has been something which is taken up very positively, at least by our women staff, because they feel that the company is definitely taking care of them. This is something which is very unique across the industry. I have not seen any other company coming up with this kind of a guideline. So that is on the work-life balance.
Sorry, just on that point, what was the thinking behind that practice? Was it to ensure that you still have that diverse workforce, and that's why you've implemented that practice?
Yes, definitely yes. Okay. Because traditionally, if you look at the data, women employees around the motherhood time, most of them either used to take a break from their careers, or probably used to have a flexi arrangement, which was again not very common those days. So hence we said, fine, we'll probably take a combination of both. We want the women employees to be there with us. Obviously, they are the integral part of our workforce. So the women employees definitely have to be there with us. But again, during these tough times, or during these times when they definitely need to be equally involved in their family and kids, why not to give them some flexibility so that they're able to devote time and give their best to both.
Super.
So that was definitely one of the ideas which was welcomed by most of our women employees across the organization. Then on the other hand, then there are a lot of these DI activities. So there are you've got communities which are for the LGBTQ members. There are communities which are around women empowerment. There are women leadership chapters. So these things are very well accepted and taken by the workforce at large. So I think a combination of all of them have definitely worked out for us, and probably the annual results of the last year in terms of the attrition definitely is a outcome of all of this.
I was going to say, and there's definitely a strong link between having a very, very low attrition rate, like you shared earlier on, and these phenomenal world-class HR practices that you have in place, which are clearly driving a phenomenal employee experience. And the one practice that I really liked was the recognition opportunity for your employees, where you invite family members to get that award, and just to not only be put in the spotlight in front of your peers, but also in front of your family.
Correct.
I think that's a really, really nice touch.
Because in terms of in front of your peers, probably in any official gathering, when you get a reward, your peers are always there.
Yes.
But again, when it comes to in front of your families, because people work hard. People have spent nights and nights in the office
For their family.
wherein the family really at that point of time starts to miss them. But again, it is more of an encouragement and more of a confirmation to the family members that the spouse who was there in the office definitely was working hard, and this is an outcome of that.
Super. And sorry, just one more point to touch on, with regards to this particular topic. You spoke about mentoring and how accessible it is to many employees in the organization. Do you have reverse mentoring where your executives are exposed to generational Zs to learn from them?
Yes. So there is not a formal forum as of now. But yes, we are coming up with something very similar because, again, talking about Gen Zs, so there is a lot to learn from them. So I think even people like you and me, we have people in our teams who are probably just about 1, 2, 3 years experience who are from that particular generation, and rest assured there is loads and loads to learn from them.
Yeah, absolutely. Which is a nice bridge to our next topic. Looking at notable shifts when it comes to the talent retention landscape over the past few years, I think one should recognize the impact that we're having very, very diverse, multi-generational workforces. And this brings us to the specific influence of Gen Z. And it is really a group that has traditionally changed, workplace norms. I mean, one cannot ignore that. So in your experience, what has been the most notable shift in the talent retention landscape over the past few years?
Okay. So before I answer that question, I think one of the data points to be shared is, so as per one of the recent reports, it has been said that probably in the next 18 to 24 months, more than 40% of any company's workforce is going to be constituted by people of Gen Z. So that in itself says that you probably will need to have, not probably, but you definitely need to have different set of guidelines, different set of ways of working for the Gen Zs. See, there is a very notable difference between the way a Gen Z operates, a Gen Z thinks versus people of other generations, the older generations, if I may say so. So the way they both operate, the way they think is very different. Like, for example, in today's world, Gen Z is all about technology. Gen Z is all about taking charge of their own career. Gen Z is all about having flexibility. So I think if you try and design their careers given the traditional ways of working, definitely it's not going to work. So a small example. So we focus a lot on trainings. And Gen Z is a lot about mobile devices and tablets. So we said, fine, let's do one thing. Let's integrate both of them. Let's give a training platform which is available on their mobile devices, which is available on their iPads, and so that whenever they are on the move, they can complete these small modules, small capsules of trainings. And that definitely Gen Z has really accepted and taken it to a large extent.
Yeah.
So the acceptability of these kind of training programs has definitely increased a lot of focus, and that is exactly what we as an organization also wanted to focus around. So that is coming out really well. So Gen Z, definitely there cannot be a one size fits all kind of a formula. You will definitely have to create different policies, different ways of working for them.
Exactly. And what have you noticed with Gen Zs and the way that they like to work from a flexibility point of view? Anything interesting that you've noticed?
Yeah, so I think, so one thing I would talk about Gen Zs is they are very clear in terms of what their asks are.
And which is a good thing, right? You know
which
where
is
you
a good
stand.
thing. Correct. Yeah. They are not confused like us. Let me put it that way. So they are very clear in terms of what their ask is. They want flexibility when it comes to their ways of working, in terms of their schedules. Yes, and that is one of the reasons why we have created these kind of policies. So definitely there is at times it becomes difficult to convince a few members of this generation because, again, as I said, they want their autonomy of the way they want to do things.
Yeah.
But I think by and large it is working out well.
And I guess we were talking before we started this podcast, and you've got two sons who are Gen Z, so you've got some good experience there.
Oh, don't talk about it. So, yeah. So as far as I said, I think my kids are no different from today's world. So I think one of the biggest examples what I keep on discussing with my kids is, as I said, it's all about technology. It's all about mobile devices. But when they are not near us and we call them, half the time they'll not respond to their cell phones, though their cell phones are there in their hands. So it is a unique problem.
I think it's called selective screening.
Probably, yes.
I also get exposed to it occasionally, so don't worry. Shishir, I mean, as you've been talking, I've been finding this really, really interesting. And I think one of the sort of key takeaways for me here is how much HCLTech also personalizes the employee journey and experience, right? There's no one-size-fits-all approach. We're all
Correct.
different. We all have different needs. So can you just talk to me a little bit about, how you customize, personalize the EVP, for your different generations that exist within the organization?
Sure. So as far as EVP is concerned, okay, I'll probably take a step back, and the first stage when it comes to encountering a candidate which is a prospective employee for HCL, what we have done is the recruiters have been trained, because that is what is the first point of contact for a external candidate who probably might become an HCL employee tomorrow.
Yeah.
So we've trained our employees who are especially into the recruitment team as to how are they supposed to behave in front of a candidate. The reason why I'm saying this is this has got a lot to do, or an impression that a person carries about the organization plays a very important role in this. Now, again, EVPs definitely, as an organization, focuses on training, focuses on your career development, and there are various programs which have been created or curated for different generations. One of the examples which I took was in terms of training on the mobile device. So that is something which is, as I said, is working really fine for us, because this particular generation, if you try and put them into a classroom training, definitely no one is going to be attending. No. Half the time they will be yawning, and with all due respect, but yes, I think they are not meant or designed for this kind of upbringing. So yeah, I think from a employee value proposition type, it is very important, and we have a lot of these programs in place which definitely create a lot of value in the careers of the employees. Another example is when you come to deciding upon your own career. There are a lot of these mentorship programs that we have in the organizations. I am confused. Say, for example, I am a tester and I probably would like to move into a coding. It is a vertical or a horizontal movement in my career. Now, how do I do that? So for that, we have enabled a couple of platforms in the organization wherein you decide what you really want to pick up. You decide where do you want to go. There are coaching programs for that. There are learning platforms for that. There is a mentor who is going to be assigned to you, who's going to be guiding you end to end. It could be a 6-month journey. It could be a 24-month journey. So these kind of things definitely are working out very well for us.
Excellent. I mean, you've shared a number of inspirational best practices for our audience today, and we all clearly understand why HCLTech has been certified as a global top employer in a number of regions and countries, which I know you're very, very proud of. Any other final best practices that you would like to share with us, around HCLTech's philosophy and strategy when it comes to talent retention that you haven't already covered today? And you have covered a lot.
Okay. So one of the best practices that I would like to talk about is a program that is called Talent Exchange. Mm-hmm. Now, what Talent Exchange is all about is mandatory movement of a resource from one role to the other.
Okay.
So we don't really want people to be continuing in one particular role for a longer period of time. Obviously, there are dependencies on a few, but again, it cannot be for the 100% of the team. So what we try and focus is that there has to be a constant rotation, at least at a certain level before they reach the managerial level, and even at a managerial level as well. Why not? But the focus right now is probably at a software developer level, because unless and until you as an organization give an exposure to a candidate, to an employee of different roles, different verticals, how will they probably over a period of time choose as to where they really want to be?
Yeah.
So that is something which is very important. So we have come up with a plan which is a mandatory rotation beyond a certain period of time from every role. The role could be a different role within the same engagement, within the same customer domain. But again, definitely there has to be a change of role. You can't be doing the same thing again and again, day in and day out. It is all to for two purposes. Number one, to give an exposure to the employee as to what is outside of the current role. And number two, to avoid monotony in the current role.
Okay. And out of interest, how long does the sort of rotation last for to give them a flavor of what that role could entail for them?
Okay, so typically what we say is about 24 months.
Okay.
That 24 months is a peak period wherein a person gives his or her best to whatever he or she is involved into. Outside of 24 months is what we encourage employees, or as a policy now we say that it is mandated for the employees to rotate.
Nice best practice. Thank you for sharing. So to conclude our discussion today, we're going to have some fun with you. We're going to do some rapid fire questions focused on talent retention. So we'd love to hear your quickest insights and thoughts in the shortest explanation possible. So are you ready?
Sure.
Do you want a countdown? Okay, here we go. 3, 2, 1. What's the biggest mistake managers make when discussing retention with employees?
Oh, so that's a big one. Sorry, I'll not take it as a rapid fire. But again, this is something which is very sensitive. So see, what is happening in today's world is managers, they focus only at a very short-term career goal for the employee who's leaving. We as an organization in HCLTech, we are trying to lay emphasis on a culture which typically means we hire people for HCLTech. We do not hire people for the customer. Though the customer is also equally important, I don't deny that fact. But again, the career of the employee is designed by HCLTech. So hence, my sincere advice to the managers is that do not only look at retention of an employee from a project standpoint or from an immediate deliverable standpoint. Look as to how you can really shape and design the career of the individual. So I think that is more important. That is my sincere advice to the managers.
So it was a long answer, but it was a great answer. We'll give you a point for that one. Next one. What future work trend will most impact retention, in your opinion?
Technology-enabled learning and flexibility.
Cool. One piece of advice for organizations struggling with high turnover rates. Wave your wand and solve the world's problems.
Again, something very similar as I said in the first point. I think it is more important to focus and look at the capabilities of the employee rather than just looking at the immediate deliverables. So don't look at something which is short term, because if you want a larger, engaged and a motivated workforce, you definitely have to design and shape up the career the way they want, and not probably taking care of your immediate and a short term deliverables.
Excellent. And then your final question, one thing every company should do to prevent quiet quitting in the workplace.
Probably ensure that the workforce is engaged all the time, because the more time you give to an unengaged workforce, the more time is what they have to explore the world outside.
Okay, I'll give you 100% for that. Well done.
Thank you so much.
Cool. So a big thanks of appreciation to Shishir. We really, really appreciate all the invaluable insights that you've shared with us today. So thank you for your time, sir.
Thank you so much, Billy. And I think I really appreciate the entire Top Employer Institute, the kind of researches and the best practices that you share. I think they really are insightful. So for people like us who've been into the industry for a long time, still are unaware as to what is happening into the other industry verticals. So I think a big thank you to you as well.
Thank you, sir. We are obviously very, very humbled by your feedback, and also that we have the opportunity to certify HCLTech on a global scale, and you're obviously a phenomenal ambassador for our program. So thank you very much for the kind words.
Thank you, Billy.
Cool. As mentioned, we really appreciate Shishir's invaluable HR insights, helping us with the evolving challenges in the workplace today, from the impact of the Great Resignation to the unique demands of Generation Zs. It's clear that the landscape of talent retention is undergoing significant changes, and companies have to align with the latest trends to stay ahead of the curve. So do reach out to us on our social media channels, share this episode, tag a friend. Please subscribe to our channel for more HR content like this. All the details are in the description below. So more importantly, let's all stay committed to creating a better world of work for our employees. Thank you for watching, and goodbye for now.